Okay, let's get back to completing the PlayStation Plus Collection Challenge, in which our last one was Until Dawn, which we did back in... Oh shit. The Last of Us is a game that I've had a love-hate relationship with, and I have been very apprehensive to return to it. But with the PlayStation Plus Collection Challenge and news of a remake on the horizon, actually I think the reviews are out now, my hand has been forced, and I've got to make some moves on this thing. Understand that Naughty Dog used to be my favorite developer of all time. How could they not be? They created my favorite series in the world, which is Crash Bandicoot. But around the time they made the jump to PS3, it was clear the team was changing. Change is a good thing, don't get me wrong, but personally I wasn't moving along with that tide. I had enjoyed Uncharted 1 and 2, but I wasn't in love with them the way other people were. Then I tried to play Uncharted 3 and I didn't get very far into it. I decided, okay, let's give it another go when The Last of Us drops. This looks incredible. I pre-ordered my copy and even went to the midnight launch for the game. But when I proceeded to play the game, I only got halfway through, putting it down, telling myself that one day I'll return. Well, it's been about 9 years since the game first released, and it's gotten a remastered version of it, a mildly divisive sequel, just mildly, and soon it will have a remake. But I still haven't been able to bring myself to come back to Joel and Ellie's world. Well, that's about to change, as a little bit of pressure and forced immersion never hurt anybody. I'm ready to give this another shot. I'm also ready to grab some trophies as well. We'll be covering the PS3 Swan Songs trophies in depth and tell you what you need to do. Factions mode deeply intrigues me, as that's a mode I never touched in the past. All this and more as we navigate through clickers, hunters, and fireflies so you can get some left behind trophies. This is Platinum Hunters, the show where we take a look at everything it takes to get the Platinum Trophy and whether it's worth the effort to achieve it. If you like Naughty Dog, we're definitely no strangers to their games on this channel. We got Uncharted 4, we got the Crash Bandicoot trilogy. You can check those videos out if you like, and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one, because you might just find your next Platinum Trophy. Compared to Uncharted trophy lists, this one has really trimmed the fat and only packed the essentials. There are 23 trophies, not including the plat, and 8 of them are for story completion. 8 of them related to various types of collectibles, 3 of them for crafting and upgrades, and then 4 of them spent in the game's multiplayer mode called Factions. Yuck. Multiplayer. I know, I'm not crazy about it either, but if you want the plat, it needs to be done. I'll get into more details about how you can deal with that mode and all the other trophies further in this guide. Some of this stuff is missable, some of it's grindy, and some of it is damn infuriating. This is a pretty challenging plat, all things considered. Just in case it's not widely known, the PS3 version of The Last of Us has an unobtainable Platinum Trophy, and this guide will be only for the PS4 remaster. While they have the exact same trophies, the PS3 version had its multiplayer server shut down not too long after the PS4 version dropped. This version of the game is the better version, and if you have a PS5 and PS Plus, you can play it for free through the PlayStation Plus collection. We are ready to start our long journey, but if you need more resources to help you to get the plat, I've left them in the description below to assist you. The best place to start this post-apocalyptic trophy run is with the campaign completion trophies. Now, as opposed to most games we cover here on Platinum Hunters, this game has no spoilerific trophies. Instead, you will collect these trophies on screen now depending on the difficulty you complete the campaign on. Yes, they do stack, so completing the game on Survivor difficulty will get you all 4 of them. I don't recommend jumping into Survivor mode just yet, though. for reasons I will explain in a second. You can do your first run on a difficulty that is comfortable and just take in the amazing story. After you beat the game once, your next task is to beat it again. You'll need to do a second playthrough on New Game Plus, again on Survivor mode, to collect all 4 New Game Plus trophies on screen now. The way they implemented New Game Plus mode in this game is really awkward, and if you choose your difficulty options incorrectly, it can lead to having to play the game 3 to 4 times to get all the trophies. For example, I decided to do my first run of the game on normal mode, and when I finished it, the highest I could go on New Game Plus was Normal Plus. It wouldn't let me jump to Survivor Plus. So that means I would have to play Survivor mode regular, beat that, and then play Survivor Plus, resulting in 3 playthroughs of the game. What a convoluted mess, and as much as I love the story, doing 3 playthroughs is whack. Thankfully, there is an exploit that will let you beat the game in 2 playthroughs, and you don't need to play the first one on Survivor. Just beat your first run on any difficulty you wish, like let's say normal mode. Then start your New Game Plus run on the same difficulty and beat the first chapter. After you gain control of Joel when you are with Tess, quit out to the main menu and go to Chapter Select. Choose the first chapter again, and now you will see all the difficulty options available to you. From there, choose Survivor Plus or Grounded Plus if you're feeling ambitious, and keep playing the game from there. It works perfectly, and you'll collect all the missing trophies after you complete your second run. This is much better than having to do 3 or more playthroughs of the game. I guess you could just play Survivor and Survivor Plus, but it's going to be more difficult when it comes to grabbing all the collectibles, which I highly recommend you do on your first playthrough. Now, to get the Platinum Trophy, you only need to beat the game as high as Survivor and Survivor Plus, which will give you a pretty good challenge. On Survivor mode, they take away your ability to listen and highlight where enemies are located. This will put all the onus on you to suss out the living and the dead and keep track of their movements. Plus, ammo is starting to appear fewer and far between, and conserving your stuff for the real battles is crucial. Not a great mode to look for collectibles or go in without upgraded weapons. Trust me, get collectibles on your first run and use that trick I told you about. However, there is a difficulty higher than that called Grounded mode, and that will need to be beaten if you want to fully complete the trophy list 100%. Grounded mode has its own add-on trophy set, so it's not, I repeat, not required for the Platinum Trophy. I wanted to get all the trophies, so I decided to go right to Grounded Plus for my second playthrough, and my god, is this mode a pain in the ass. I've never played a game so stingy with ammo and health drops. Heck, I can't even see what my health is. I see Joel bleeding from a gash in his stomach, but that's my only way to gauge whether or not I should give him a health pack. I should also add it's the only health pack that I've found in the first half of the game. Honestly, if you want to stay alive, the best way to do this is to sneak around enemies and not engage in fights with them at all, if you can help it. Sometimes that's not possible, as you will need to clear the room in order to progress, and if you can find ways to conserve ammo, do so. Oh, and get used to killing things with your bare hands, because you only found 2 revolver rounds, 1 arrow, and a pack of gum. I swear, Grounded mode is a brutal experience if you're going to play it. Or don't, if you want the plat and don't care about the other trophies. This game has a lot of collectibles to find in many different varieties. Nothing new here if you've played Uncharted games, as Naughty Dog loves their collectibles. These first types of collectibles can be collected using Chapter Select if you happen to miss any of them on your initial playthrough. A good collectible guide really comes clutch here, and I've got one in the description below for you to use. I highly recommend you take care of all the collectible trophies on your first playthrough of the game, and I'll explain why in a little bit. But let's take a look at the more lore-based stuff first. There is a trophy called Scavenger that is for collecting all collectibles, but it's not collectibles in the way that we use them. In the game, there is a separate subset of findable items that go under their own category called Collectibles. When you find all of them, the single trophy will pop. The single one will pop. There are 3 subsets of items which use the firefly pendants, comics, and artifacts and have their own separate trophies on screen now. You will find all these items in the same way you find the other ones we discussed. They are hanging out mostly off the beaten path. I don't know about you, but I don't want to spend more time in these clicker-infested streets than I have to. They scare me. For all the training manuals and the I got this trophy, you find them the same way as the others. The reason I'm singling them out is that they are very helpful in keeping you alive. Every time you collect one of these training manuals, you get a new ability like being able to use your Shiv twice before it breaks, or upgraded Molotovs, upgraded smoke bombs, and the like. Definitely a good thing to search out before you do your Survivor Plus or Grounded Mode Plus playthrough. These next 3 sets of collectibles are completely missable and work differently from the item type collectibles, which you can just grab using chapter select. You'll need to find all of them in one playthrough in order to get all these trophies. The game doesn't record that you've got them if you do it with chapter select, so make sure you don't miss one or you will be screwed. Again, the guide is there to help you. The first trophy is called Master of Unlocking, which is for finding and unlocking all 13 of the doors that can be opened using a Shiv. There are 13 of these Shiv doors across all the chapters, and while you'll need to expend a Shiv to open them, man is it worth it. These are really great to find, not just for the trophy, as they always have a crap ton of upgrade materials behind it, whether it's pills, parts for weapon upgrading, ammo, and materials for crafting. And on Survivor or Grounded, where all this stuff is sparse, expending a Shiv is a no-brainer for the goodies inside. This is why you should worry about collectibles on your first play, because you will be bulking up Chad Joel for your next playthroughs. And then there's the I want to talk about it trophy for finding all 37 optional conversations. These are indicated by a black symbol that pops up when one of your companions wants to have a chat about something. You'll find a bunch of them not even trying, as some of them will naturally pop up as you're just going along the intended path. The problem comes from the ones that only pop up after a certain action, or conversations that take place only after you find something way in the corner. Those ones are the issue, and if you miss one of them and reach the end of the game, say goodbye to your trophy. This trophy is all or nothing and very missable, so the collectible guide is very much needed for this one. The most missable of these are Ellie's 5 joke book conversations for the That's All I Got trophy. If you want to lighten the mood, Ellie knows a bad dad joke or 2 that will do the trick. What doesn't lighten my mood is how missable these things would be to find them if you wanted to do this trophy legit. Despite how 4 of the 5 side-splitting moments are in the same chapter, getting Ellie to pull out the joke book is a matter of being in the right place at the right time. If you are rushing through the levels, you'll never hear what did the mermaid wear to her math class. It's an algebra, by the way. Yeah. Point is, they are very hard to find, so like everything else, this guide will make sure you didn't miss the 4 wisecracks in Chapter 5 and the 5th one in Chapter 6. Now let's take a look at what Joel is working with when it comes to his firepower and tools. Yeesh, some of this is made with duct tape and gum, but as long as it works, I don't care. First trophy is called Let's Gear Up, and you'll need to craft every item at least once to pop the trophy. Over time, you'll unlock new things to craft in your menu, getting items like nail bombs, molotovs, blades for your melee weapon, and more improvised weaponry. You'll need to craft everything in the menu at least once before your adventure is over. The trophy is technically missable, but it's so hard to miss it without straight up ignoring the crafting menu. Unless you are playing on grounded mode where you literally can't craft anything. I'm not bitter. When it comes to his guns, Joel literally uses what he can find. These weapons are good enough to get the job done, but they can be upgraded to really pack a punch. To get the 4 emergencies only trophy, you'll need to fully acquire all of the weapons at Joel's disposal. There are 8 weapons that Joel will acquire over the course of the game, and weapons like the flamethrower and the El Diablo won't be yours until closer to the end of the experience. Each weapon has a number of upgrades that you can spend parts on to maximize traits like range, recoil, reload speed, and other things like that. The resources you need to upgrade them are those gear things you find in rooms and other random places. Sometimes you will find them one at a time, and sometimes you'll hit the jackpot and find a huge lump sum. The best place to get these is behind the Shiv doors, where you'll be awarded a generous amount of them. That's another big reason why you should do collectibles on your first playthrough. You will need a grand total of, 2,510 parts across all 8 weapons. When you finally get enough to spend, one issue you're going to run into is that you can only spend them at a workbench. Unlike the crafting and supplement upgrades, which you can do just on the spot in the menus, upgrading weapons can only be done at these stations. Most chapters have one, but not all of them do. So when you find one, make sure you make use of it and upgrade as much as you can. Another issue you're going to run into is you will only be able to get the level 1 upgrades if you don't find all of the 5 toolboxes. These are yet another collectible of major importance to seek out. Each time you find a toolbox, you can collect the next level of upgrades as marked by the plier sign beside the upgrade costs. You will need all 5 toolboxes to have the ability to upgrade these weapons fully. This mechanic is so dumb, and if you didn't know about it, you wouldn't have very strong weapons by the end of the game. And because the issues just keep piling up, you won't get enough resources to upgrade all your guns on one playthrough, even with the Shiv doors. You will either get the trophy on your New Game Plus run, or a cleanup play. But once you buy every last weapon for Joel's arsenal, the trophy will finally be yours. But honestly, the greatest piece of hardware in Joel's arsenal is himself. Seriously, this man is a post-apocalyptic Bear Grylls up in here. But even he could use a pick-me-up to make his abilities even better. That's where the supplements come in. To get the trophy, everything we've been through, you will need to fully upgrade Joel's 5 abilities to the maximum using supplements. The total amount this time is 750 supplements to max out all of Joel's abilities. Like the weapon upgrades, I didn't find enough of the resources in my first run, and I needed to get the rest in New Game Plus mode. And again, check the Shiv doors rooms, as they are the best place to look for them, but you'll also find a good amount of them out in the world too. After you purchase all of the upgrades, you'll get the trophy. We have 4 more trophies left to cover, and they are now found in the factions mode of the game, which is the game's multiplayer suite. But do me a favor, hit that like button if you've made it this far. I need the likes because I don't live in a post-apocalyptic world where there's no YouTube, so I need the likes so I can put a damn dent in this algorithm. The last 4 trophies for this platinum run are all found inside of Last of Us's multiplayer mode called Factions. At first, I dreaded having to play this mode as it's way more involved than the hour or 2 required for Uncharted 4's plat. But upon spending time with it, I feel like this multiplayer has a ton of great ideas in it and that they just need to be fleshed out. In fact, they're doing that right now. Naughty Dog is hard at work on a standalone live service Factions game for the PS5. I have a strong feeling that when that game comes out, Naughty Dog will consider shutting down the servers for this game. It's already happened to the original PS3 version when the remaster dropped, so make sure you get these multiplayer trophies done now before it's too late. Also, one thing to note is that there are way more trophies related to multiplayer to unlock, and they come from 2 add-on trophy sets, the Reclaimed Territories and the Abandoned Territories. So if you unlock anything that is not these next 4 trophies I'm about to talk about, they will not count towards the Platinum Trophy, and don't worry about them. All of my list completionists, please disregard this message. Okay, we will start with the Knowing the Basics trophy, which you will get when you win 1 match of Supply Raid mode and 1 match of Survivors mode. There is a third mode called Interrogations, but that one is for a DLC trophy and won't count towards this one. It needs to be a win for both of those modes. This is a good trophy to get your feet wet and get acclimatized with the very interesting mechanics baked into this multiplayer mode. Okay, time to get into the meat and potatoes. The main two trophies you're going to want to work towards relate to the Firefly journey and the Hunter journey. When you start factions mode, they will ask you to choose a faction to play as and work towards building up a clan. You will be going after the Firefly trophy if you choose the Fireflies, or you'll be working on the Hunter trophy if you pick the Hunters as your faction of choice. They work exactly the same mechanically, so don't worry too much about choosing one or the other. You will end up playing as both for the plat anyways. The way the journey works is that you will be locked into 12 weeks of matches representing your chosen faction, working towards building up your clan size and ensuring your members' survival. No, it's not literally 12 weeks in real time. I scared you, didn't I? Thankfully, it plays out like this. Each match that you play represents one day, so to complete one journey, you will need to play a total of 84 matches. And since you're doing 2 journeys, one for each faction, you will be locked into this multiplayer mode for at least 168 matches. That certainly is a lot and a major time investment for this platinum. This game is bleak and doesn't sugarcoat anything, so I'm not going to do that here. After you finish a match, you will be rewarded with new clan members to increase your overall faction size. The number of members that you get is based on how many supplies you collect during a match, which are the blue containers that they tally up at the very end of the match. These supply containers can be picked up and collected in matches when you down players and kill them, but mainly they come from how many parts you make in a match. So if you're doing well in the match and you collect a lot of them, you will see your faction prosper on the results screen and you will get a big boost to your clan size. That's pretty much your goal across the 84 matches you have to play. Keep that clan size big and you are winning. There is a trophy that you can get called Populace that will pop when you build your clan to 40 people or more, which is not very hard to do actually. I collected this trophy in week 3 of my first journey and I didn't even play well in the matches. In general, you don't have to be a superstar player to collect all these trophies. I lost a bunch of matches and still kept increasing my clan size higher. The determining factor that keeps your clan members healthy is if you bring enough supplies home at the end of the day, aka the end of the match. Obviously, a bigger clan has more mouths to feed and that makes the supplies count inside of the match higher. When you don't collect enough supplies, clan members start to go hungry or get sick. From there, they run the risk of dying and you run the risk of having your clan size decrease. So there is some incentive to do well in the matches when your clan size is big, but I wouldn't worry too much if you lose a few members here and there. Oh damn, Jimmy died of rampant dysentery. Damn, that sucks, but I'm sorry. I'll bring more supplies next time. There is some panic though when there are challenges that threaten the lives of the majority of your clan. As you complete days and weeks of the journey, the game will throw in some challenges that could either increase your clan size or eradicate them. For example, there was one challenge where the fireflies were attacking and that threatened 60% of my clan if I didn't do well over the next 3 days that were set in the challenge. Later on in the journey, the challenges will bump up to 100% of your clan, and that's not cool. So you're going to have to make sure you at least complete the first tier of the challenge to prevent the absolute end of your clan. The cool thing is that you can pick the criteria of the challenge, so pick something that you know is going to be easier for you. I usually save the criteria like down players or executions because those are things that I'm going to do anyway. But you could also do revives or kills with a certain weapon or any of the other ones you think you'll complete. There's a pretty big list and you get to pick the challenge criteria. However, every time you pick a challenge, the criteria number will increase the next time you go to select it. So if you choose the challenge 3 or 4 times, the goals of the challenge might be too high for you to realistically complete in 3 days. Just keep that in mind when choosing your challenges. Ultimately, it is possible to fail the whole journey if your clan size drops right down to 0, and you will have to start all over again from week 1, day 1. But honestly, this is very hard to do, and the only way I can see this fail state happening is if you are constantly quitting out of matches or being AFK inside the match not collecting supplies. Even when your clan size drops significantly, so does the amount of supplies you require to feed them, so all you have to do is get those supplies and you'll boost your clan size right back up to where it was. Even with the challenges that threaten your crew, you're still pretty safe. That's why clever people have come up with a trick where you start the match and then quit out of it to record an extra day. Yes, this will have a detrimental effect on your clan, but if you have a big clan, you will only lose a little bit and still have plenty of members to spare. I use this trick every time I had healthy members, which pretty safely let me skip the matches. This will speed up the process on these 84 matches, allowing you to play less of them, but be smart about it and do it at your own risk. If you are constantly quitting matches and losing clan members, then a challenge hits that might wipe out your whole clan, you might be screwed. But if you do this correctly, you can take the 84 matches that you are required to do and turn it into 40 matches or 60 matches. And that means each journey will take less time to do. But that's everything you need to know about both the Firefly and Hunter's journeys, and I hope all this information helps you get both of those trophies. That's everything you need to know for the Platinum Run as well. Now you're prepped for both the single player and multiplayer experiences in this game. I know that the remake is on the horizon and I've already seen the trophies, and it's a much easier experience than this because it has no multiplayer and no difficulty trophies. But honestly, I'm gonna wait till it drops in price or wait till it gets added to PS Extra. This was free when I got my PS5 and it felt great to play anyways. But that's an argument that can go on and on. Let's refocus. If you have survived multiple bouts with clickers, collected a bunch of collectibles from a bygone era, built up your own faction twice, listened to some bad Ellie jokes, and collected all the trophies, congratulations! You will be awarded the It Can't Be For Nothing Platinum Trophy for The Last of Us Remastered. Oh man, The Last of Us Remastered has lots of extra trophy sets for you to complete if you want to collect all 100% of the trophies. I've already bitched and complained about the Grounded Mode trophy set where you have to beat the game on Grounded Mode and Grounded Mode Plus. What a bull crap mode, honestly. Then there's the Reclaimed Territories and Abandoned Territories trophy sets for Factions mode. You can get both of these while you're playing through your faction journeys, and they're not hard trophies to get at all. Lastly, there is the acclaimed Left Behind DLC, which you get free with the remaster version, and this DLC deserves its own Platinum Hunters New Game Plus episode. What an amazing DLC, that's all I gotta say. Expect it to come to the channel very soon. Overall, The Last of Us Remastered's plat is a pretty oppressive one with a pretty tough hard mode playthrough and a big time investment and grind in its multiplayer mode. I think it's not for everyone, and not everyone is going to enjoy getting the Platinum Trophy for this game. I know this because the Platinum rate is currently at a 0.4%. For me though, I think it did the trick. I have to say, I more or less enjoyed going for this plat despite getting pissed off about a few things. I don't want to rag on the multiplayer too hard because I really like the ideas that faction mode tried to do, but it is a big grind and I can see why people really don't want to do it. This game has actually made me excited for the standalone Factions live service game where I know they're going to flesh out these ideas. However, I can't ignore the fact that the multiplayer definitely overstayed its welcome for many people, including myself. I recommend the plat only if you're looking for something that's going to challenge you or if you want all the Naughty Dog plats. Like I mentioned, the Last of Us Remake trophies are way easier if you want to just focus on that. As for 100% trophy completion for this game, I can only recommend it if you like spending hours trying to clear really tough sections of the game on grounded mode, just shy of performing Jesus level miracles. I wish I could turn the water into bullets so that way I can shoot things in this mode, cause you know I can't kill clickers with my bare hands. But all in all, if you're a super fan of Naughty Dog, or if you're trying to rekindle your love for their games, I think this game is a good one to do just that. The story is absolutely incredible. Otherwise, the Platinum Run really asks the world of you, and you might not make it to the end of this heartfelt journey. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I realize this is not the same Last of Us game that everybody's posting on this day, but I think that the remaster is definitely worth checking out, and I personally am going to play the remake at a later date. I know now it's easier. I know now that the trophies are a joke because there's no multiplayer and there's no difficulty trophies. So I can safely save that for later. And when I want to come back to this experience, I will come back through that game. But if you're looking to get all the trophies for this, I hope this guide certainly helps you. I know the multiplayer won't last forever, so definitely pay attention to that section of the guide and use it to get those trophies. And look out for more trophy guide videos coming to the channel. I hope all your trophy hunting expeditions go incredibly well, and peace out.